Matthew Lewis stole the hearts of Harry Potter fans with his endearing portrayal of the bullied-turned-heroic Neville Longbottom. Today, Collider goes behind the scenes to show how the talented young actor prepared for his role and delivered an unforgettable performance. Check it out. Most of the core cast of child actors for Harry Potter was discovered through open casting calls, including Matthew Lewis. Lewis was an avid Harry Potter fan before auditioning and recalls telling his mother that if a movie were ever made, he hoped she would take him to see it. It felt like a sign from above when open auditions were announced in his hometown of Leeds. Lewis, amongst thousands of other kids, appeared before casting directors at the Queen's Hotel. The young actor would have been grateful to score even just a walk-on part at the part and had no thoughts of getting a large role. When the young hopeful didn't hear from casting in the following days after, he assumed it was all over and moved on. But everything changed just 2 months later. The phone rang and I was asked if I'd like to go to London to meet the director Christopher Columbus and audition for the role of Neville Longbottom, Lewis says. In an interview with Victoria Quarter, Lewis packed his bags and headed to London. He auditioned, and the rest, as they say, is history.
No, I can't see him. Oh my God! I've killed Harry Potter!
Matthew Lewis had to undergo quite a physical transformation to play Neville Longbottom. He had to wear a fat suit to fill out his figure. He wore fake teeth to create Neville's signature overbite and shoes 2 sizes too big. Lewis also sported prosthetics behind his ears to make them stick out. Lewis could relate to his on-screen character. "I was just a kind of short, chubby kid who was crap at sport," he tells People magazine. But as Lewis grew up between filmings and naturally thinned out, makeup and wardrobe had to work twice as hard to keep him looking Neville-ish. That included stuffing the actor's cheeks with cotton wools to replace the volume that he had lost. Lewis found it to be uncomfortable and disgusting. "They just absorbed saliva, so after a full day," explains the actor.
Why is it always me?
Lewis admits it was hard to be known as the stout and gawky Longbottom. "I thought this is what the rest of the world thinks I am, what I really look like. I was so sick of the fat suit, I used to take it off as soon as I came off set, even if it was only for 20 minutes. But the actor eventually appreciated how much his physical transformation helped him get into character. "I'm glad I stuck with it." Eventually, the world saw Lewis grow up into a handsome young man, though the change presented new challenges. Tabloids and magazines presented images of Lewis out of costume as a transformation from gawk to gorgeous. In actuality, Lewis wasn't wearing his Neville Longbottom costume, and like all kids, eventually outgrew his childlike features. While the actor described the newfound attention as flattering in some respects, he ultimately found it daunting. "People started focusing on my appearance rather than my work, and I was uncomfortable with it." The good news is the actor has been able to keep a low profile since his Harry Potter days and has gone on to star in other films. He has thus fully shed his Neville skin.
And try again.
Expelliarmus!
Neville is famously clumsy. During his first flying lesson at Hogwarts, Neville couldn't help but pull attention as he loses control of his broom and zips off. He thrashes through the sky, up against walls, and holds on to the broom in terror. Broomstick flying was filmed using green screens and a crane. In the first film, it was much cruder looking compared to later films. "They literally just strapped a broomstick to a crane on the back of a pickup truck and then drove me around on it," says Lewis. "I was very safe, obviously, and the stunt team was great, but very unsophisticated compared to what came later and what they've got here." Lewis also added that the broom seat was not comfortable. Eventually, the crew learned to push flight scenes to the front of the production schedule to allow for more time to capture details. The crane mechanism to stand in as the brooms also became more sophisticated per Lewis, and more CGI was added to enhance effects. Whether he was floating, flying, or crashing, Lewis nailed the physicality of his performance.
Come back down this instant!
One of Neville's most heroic moments occurs in the final film, Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's looking like the end for Hermione and Ron, as Nagini, the evil snake, slithers down the stone steps and pounces. Just then, Neville appears from the shadows with the sword of Gryffindor, decapitates the snake, and thus destroys Voldemort's final Horcrux. This act of bravery makes Voldemort vulnerable enough to be destroyed. But behind the scenes, the sword proved to be unwieldy for Lewis. While shooting one battle scene, the sword flew out of the actor's hands and towards a group of young extras. "I shouted to warn them, but no one could hear me, as explosions were happening on set. I seriously thought I'd killed one of them. Luckily for everyone involved, no damage was done. The sword landed safely on the ground and far away from any human." But that wasn't Lewis's only on-set fumble. During the filming of one iconic scene in which Bellatrix Lestrange torments Helena Bonham Carter sticks her wand in Lewis' ear to taunt him, but Lewis jerked his hand towards the wand, and Helena Bonham Carter accidentally pierced Lewis' eardrum for real. I had to have painkillers for a ruptured eardrum, and I couldn't hear anything for a few days in that ear, says Lewis. Bonham Carter was mortified, but all was quickly forgiven. The two still laugh about it together.
Neville Longbottom, is it? How's Mum and Dad?
Better now they're about to be avenged.
Neville's character evolution is one of the most compelling of the entire series. Neville, a once shy, clumsy kid without much confidence, grows into a true Gryffindor who stands up to Voldemort. Lewis is touched by the character and is honored to have, through Neville, become a source of strength for other vulnerable kids. I've even been getting letters from children who have been bullied at school, and they've realized that because of Neville and his story, things can work out well. I really feel that it's the best role I could have hoped for.
Experiment!
That doesn't mean that the actor is immune to wincing at his own performance, mainly because he identifies so closely with Neville's clumsier aspects. At times it's painful how much of me there is in Neville. When I'm watching, I'm like, that's not Neville, that's you. As a result, the actor avoids watching the series when it's on, or really, the scenes he's in. While he has no problem sitting through scenes featuring his co-stars, he admits that as soon as he appears, he turns off the TV. Yeah, I can't bear it, Lewis reveals. But despite his aversion to his own image, his stepfather proudly re-watches the series whenever it's on, and his niece and nephew are also growing into Harry Potter fans. Chin up, Matthew. You're a star.
That is correct, Longbottom.
To blow it up! Boom!
Boom!
While Neville was learning wizardry at Hogwarts, Matthew Lewis was learning math on set. When asked how much of his life was taken up by Harry Potter, the actor responded, a lot. We filmed for months and months. In the early days, it was 6 months filming and 6 months at school. But the production accommodated their young actors and provided on-set school. They had so many kids working on the films that they had a whole floor of classrooms. We had to do 3 to 5 hours of lessons every day, says Lewis. The studios at Leavesden, where most of the films were shot, offered a sane, safe environment for the young actors to work and learn, away from paparazzi and the bustle of London.
You know, if you're interested in plants, you'd be better off with Goshawk's Guide to Herbology.
As a result, the young actors completed their education and a few later earned advanced degrees. Warner Brothers were really good with us, says Lewis. The actor was later awarded an honorary master's degree from Leeds Metropolitan University. Our boy is technically a master.
Well, there is some debate among herbologists as to the effects of freshwater versus saltwater.
You're telling me this now?
Thanks to his hard work, Matthew Lewis made a truly unforgettable Neville Longbottom. What are some of your favorite Neville moments? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.